I've been trying this out.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Jimnasium Picks Porch. As always, I am your host, XFL Jim, joined by my illustrious, lovely co-host, Chase, Lupine Fiasco, Sessoms. And our special guest this week is none other than the newlywed man himself, Colby Dant, Pick Dundee, the Dantabase of Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My man, how are you doing?
Good eye, Mike. No, I'm joking. How you guys doing, man? It's an honor to be on the show. You know, I'm a fan of both you guys, so thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, fucking likewise. So what we do here, we just rattle off picks left and fucking right. We bullshit. We have a great time. It's kind of like I like thinking of it as you're just sitting on your porch with your bros, with your buddies, just sipping some beers, having a great time, and just giving your picks for the weekend. Why don't we just start off? We'll let you start it off since you are the nice special guest. Start off with what do you like going into this weekend?
Well, I mean, look, I'm a college football guy. If you guys, if you know, whoever's watching this says, who the fuck is this Pick Dundee idiot? All right, look, I host a college football podcast, and so I have a deep love for college football and college basketball. And since it's not college basketball, most of my picks are going to be college football in the land down under. All right, and let's take you to the land down under right away. Ed Orgeron, look, he might have hit on a girl at a gas station. More power to him. This is America.
I actually heard something that that reporter had to retract that statement that she was not pregnant.
So it's definitely true.
100%.
Yeah.
It's 2021. That's what that normally when that happens, I'm like, oh, so it's definitely true. But yeah, Coach O. You guys might not remember this. I don't know, but he used to be the Ole Miss coach back in the day.
Yes, he was.
That's where he was famously quoted as saying, I like chicken on a stick from, I can't recall the name of the gas station, but it was in Oxford, Mississippi. He's coming back, and he's got a good track record against Ole Miss since he's been head coach of LSU. And, you know, I get it. He's on the way out. But I actually think I'm not all the way sold. Like, to me, when I see Ole Miss at number 12, I'm not buying in. They got a defense that if you take away the Austin Peay game and perhaps the Tulane game, I think by the end of the year, the more competition they face that's actually decent, it's going to chart in the worst 10 defenses in America. So I'm going to take the LSU Tigers. Now, I got this at +9. It is at +8 currently. I still advise my clients out there in the land down under to take the 8 points, and I say sprinkle some on the money line because Matt Corral also questionable. I think he's going to play. I think that's a classic
smokescreen.
Yeah, classic smokescreen there. But I think really Ole Miss, when you really look at it, yes, okay, they beat Arkansas, but by 1 in an arena football game, and then I thought they got fortunate in that Tennessee game, guys. I'm not buying in that this team is truly the 12th best team in the country. Give me LSU and give me them on the money line and +8. So I'm betting both.
I love that just based on the fact solely that it seems with a lot of the mid to upper tier SEC schools, Ole Miss is always keeping it close at the very least. They're like squeaking these games out.
See, here's my argument, and it's that last week, LSU won on the like rally around Coach O and the what I call the because Baton Rouge angle. Like sometimes they just win because Baton Rouge, and like Florida walking in there dressed like some fucking orange Fanta cans, like they were just begging for it to get just cause Baton Rouge, and I'm afraid they might have used up the magic. I am really interested in the over in that game, 76.5. Even if Matt Corral doesn't play. I'm going to say I got a hot take. Matt Corral's a system quarterback. The person who's backing him up is a system quarterback. He runs the Lane Kiffin system.
Is that be Rice Plumlee? Because I know John Rice Plumlee was a guy that me and Patty C on my show loved, and you know I know he's playing some wide receiver now. I think he should transfer because I think he's actually a baller. So I don't know if he would be the QB they would go with or not. But if so, I do think that he could put a scare in that LSU defense. But look,
the listed backup quarterback is Dant Kincaid.
Huh?
Yeah. Nothing screams Old South like someone named Dent.
But look, they're the 106th worst defense overall right now. If you had looked at this 2 weeks ago, they were like in the 50s or the 60s, and a lot of that was that Austin Peay game and the Tulane game. You pull up all the stats here. DJ Durkin, that defensive coordinator in year 2. I just don't think this defense is up to task here for LSU. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Coach O has made a strong shift into running the football. Ole Miss currently the 111th worst run defense in the nation. So I think it's going to be a heavy dose of some good old-fashioned gridiron football. Run it right between the tackles. Give me LSU, man.
I like that. Chase, what's your first play of the night?
So I mentioned the over in that game. I think they might hit triple digits, quite honestly. But let's go with this is probably my favorite underdog play of the weekend. I want the Army Black Knights on the money line this weekend. Give it to me against Wake Forest. I mean, people who graduate from West Point stormed the beaches of Normandy. People, I mean, what did Demon Deacons do? Nothing.
I have
they
a
judge
special
people
play,
and they run towns where dancing is not allowed. That's it.
I have a
That's
special
all they do.
play in that game just for you. I have that game going to overtime.
God, I love that bet. But I mean, Army's a good team. When they throw the ball, they throw it very efficiently. I'm still not really sold on anybody in the ACC. And just going to West Point, this feels like just a perfect letdown spot for Wake Forest. So plus 135 on the money line. Plus I get to support America. I mean, come on. What am I missing?
I mean, that is a fun play, and I love triple option football as much as any. But Wake Forest leads the all-time series 9-5, right? 9-5, and but the last time they met, Army did win by 8. I actually like Wake in this one, mainly, and I'm not buying in that they're like some real contender, but I actually think you can make a case. I get it that the back end of their schedule is tough, and it starts here with Army, but they also had a week to prep for this, right? If memory serves me correct, I think they did.
Didn't they play? Did they not play Syracuse, or was that a week before?
I think that was the week before because Syracuse had Clemson last week.
Yeah,
that's right.
So,
that's right.
Always great to get 2 weeks to prep for a triple option team. And then I know that like the back half of the schedule's got North Carolina and NC State and stuff. So, but I mean, realistically, I think Wake Forest is like a 10-win team this year in the ACC. I mean, I don't know what that means.
Right.
I do think it's Dave Clawson's best team he's had at Wake Forest. I think they're better on the D line and in the linebacking core, which was the flaw for years with Wake when they were winning 6-7 games with Clawson. Was the defense just? I think this is the best defense he's ever had at Wake Forest. But I would be happy either way because it's like a win-win scenario for me because I want to see Wake Forest win the ACC as a great fuck you to college football, and I love Army at the same time. Triple option fan till I die. So yeah, I'm on Wake. I took Wake minus I think it was 6, but I think that's a scary. I don't feel comfortable with the Wake with that play. We have to pick every game for our site. So I'm staying away, but Army's got a great track record against the Power 5, whether it was Oklahoma, whether it was Michigan. They didn't win those games, but they went to overtime. I think they could beat Wake for sure. So I'm with you.
And I'm seeing Wake right now at like -3.
I'm going to try the impossible. I'm going to try to look tough while I sip from a Capri Sun.
I'm going to stick with the college football theme for my first pick, and longtime viewers of the Jimnasium know we are all about directional Mich schools, so I'm going with a directional Michigan school here. I'm going Eastern Michigan -3 versus Bowling Green. I think people are still kind of high on Bowling Green after this Minnesota win. Maybe like they're not catching up to it. And Eastern Michigan is a plucky team that I love Chris Creighton as a coach, and I think they're better than just a friggin' field goal against this Bowling Green team who I am definitely not sold on. I love and want Eastern Michigan in this spot.
I mean, look, I got swayed on this one by Patty C and Nick because I love Chris Creighton as well. My biggest fear is they win games. I'm talking like if you look in the past 5 years, and I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to state that first that I am betting this. I am betting Eastern Michigan. I'm just going to go with Chris Creighton. But when you look at their wins a lot of the time or losses, it's always very close games. I feel like, yeah, maybe this year's been a little bit of an outlier because they got St. Francis and UMass, but just 2 weeks ago they beat Miami 13-12. You know what I mean? Like Miami, Ohio, that was. And then they lose by 7 to NIU. They lose by 7 to Ball State. This has been the theme of Creighton teams. They kind of like play to their to whatever like the opponent would be in my opinion. You know, they've beaten some Big Ten teams, but I'm backing you. I'm betting this. I love it, but Bowling Green's a weird. They are improved. They got rid of Brian Van Gorder. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the biggest move they could have made. It's also why I generally like Eastern Michigan more as a dog. But I think just against this Bowling Green team, maybe I still have it in my head that Bowling Green is still really, really bad. And I have like 2020 and 2019 stuck in my head, but I'm gonna roll with Eastern Michigan on this one. What do you got next, Colby?
I will take you back to the land down under and take you to Corvallis, Oregon, because my only problem with this is I feel like it's starting to become a public play. But I've been saying this one since like June. All right, I was like, watch, Utah is going to beat Arizona State in Salt Lake City the week before. Arizona State will be ranked. That'll be a huge win for dictating the Pac-12 South. But then they got to go to Corvallis. And I think Oregon State is legit. So especially at home. Like to me, if you're playing Oregon State and it's a road game and you're like, okay. I think Corvallis is a tough place to win. I think it's actually one of the sneakier tough places to play in all the country. I'm going to take Oregon State on the money line. They're getting 3.5, shop around into I see a 2.5 out there too. I like Oregon State on the money line to take down Utah. Another thing is Utah, I get it. They made that switch from Charlie Brewer, who quit the team, 2021 style, after being benched in the San Diego State game, and Cameron Rising came in, and he's played good, but that offense still sputters. And I think they beat a down USC team, and Utah plays great in Salt Lake City, so I expected them to beat Arizona State. This is going to be the next big road test. Like I said, they lost at BYU. They lost at San Diego State, if you want to call it that, Dignity Health Center. I think they go to Corvallis and lose against Oregon State.
I don't hate that. I'd like that, especially after a nice upset win, kind of going on the road after that. I love that play. Chase, where are you going next?
Man, we were so high on this team to start, but I'm going against them. I'm going to be playing a coach who came to this party to drink beer and kick ass, and he's almost out of beer. That's right. Mike fucking Gundy. Oklahoma State. I love Oklahoma State in this spot. Like, I'm actually sold. I know that they're not just putting up the prolific offensive numbers that they had after they lost their offensive coordinator in the offseason. They're doing it with defense. And man, that's fucking refreshing in the Big 12, having a team do it with defense. I really think that they're just kind of a gutsy team that knows how to win. And I love plus 218 on the money line. And I get Mike Gundy. Come on, man. Like, yeah, Oklahoma State on the money line against Iowa State. I know Iowa State's had a little bit of a resurgence. And I don't think that Iowa State is going to use their one mess up someone's season game here. I think they're going to use it down the road against Oklahoma.
I'm actually on the opposite side of that one with you. I'm on Iowa State here to actually cover that spread. I think Iowa State's defense is actually flying under the radar, and Iowa State as a team as a whole has been flying under the radar since their 2 losses. And I think they're prime to kind of like it's a huge upset spot. A ranked team going to Ames, it's spooky time in the cornfields.
I'm with you, XFL Jim. Look, it's just I went to this game last year in Stillwater. And this was a close game last year in Stillwater. And I thought that Oklahoma State team last year was actually better than this year's team. And then you're telling me it's in Ames and Iowa State hasn't had that marquee victory yet. I think they get it done here. I'm actually laying. I got it at I laid 6.5 earlier in the week, put some cash on it. Look, I mean, this is kind of one of those win-win spots. If I lose my money, I'm not that upset because Oklahoma State's still in a great position to say F you to Oklahoma and Texas. But I am on Iowa State, dude. This is a rich history of Oklahoma State as a top 10 team coming into Ames and taking an L. I mean, there's a few. I think 2011, what they were number 1 in the nation, double overtime. Mm-hmm. Iowa State took them down, and then I believe it happened one other time. Yeah, I think maybe it was 2005. I don't know. But I believe twice they've been in the top 10. This would be the 3rd time they're in the top 10 entering Ames over the past 15 years, I believe.
We're going in mulletless this time.
You're also, not by yourself,
we're
though,
living
Chase,
in a new normal.
You know.
We're living in a new normal also. No, I like the spot. Like, I think Oklahoma State is just doing that Oklahoma State thing of you look up and it's middle November and they're undefeated and number 5 in the country. Like I just kind of think they're rolling now and gaining momentum.
Wouldn't it be great if they won the Big 12? I'm sorry.
It would be.
Yeah.
Well, they got to play Bedlam back to back. So if they beat Iowa State here, they're looking like they're in the driver's seat to play in the Big 12 championship. And then Oklahoma plays them the final week of the season. So that'd be 2 matchups. It's hard to beat a team twice back-to-back weeks. So that'd be interesting to watch. So in a way, I'm almost kind of hoping for it.
If you're the Big 12 powers to be, do you not want that righteous infliction of retribution?
Yeah, right.
Oh, you definitely do. My last bit on this game is I'm going to use some numbers here, and that's just this is the only time I'm going to use numbers ever. SP Plus has Oklahoma State ranked as the 35th best defense in the country. Iowa State, they have ranked the 12th. Sneaky good defense. And if you look at Iowa State's losses, they outgained both Baylor and Iowa in those losses.
Yeah. I mean, that Baylor game was crazy. It wasn't even close to outgaining them. They like doubled up their number, I believe, maybe even more than double the offensive outpoint of the Baylor Bears. So those are good points for sure, man.
My next play, I'm moving over to the NFL, and I hate this game and I hate these teams, even though I'm a huge fan of one of them. I'm actually taking the over 47.5 in the Dolphins-Falcons game. The reason being, yes, these teams are overall bad, but these defenses are just trash. These defenses are garbage. And, I mean, watching Tua in London, yes, like the Dolphins are on a short week after traveling back from London, but watching Tua over there, aside from that interception, he played pretty decently. And I think, like, the Falcons team can at least put up points. So I'm leaning the over in this game. I feel gross about it, but I'm gonna lean over.
I guess I kind of like that. I'm not going to disagree with that one. I mean, that one, it over-unders to me are always tough with the Falcons. Even though they score, I always feel like whenever I'm on their side, they just lay a lemon and they'll score like 7 points with the number one offense.
That's when they decide that Cordero Patterson should be kicking also.
Exactly, right?
Thanks, guys. Thanks, bud.
Yep, fucking love that. He's the definition of a great gadget player. Colby, what do you got next for us?
Well, I'm going to take you to look. I'm from the land down under, apparently, but let's go to the somewhere close to the land down under, I guess. The great island of Hawaii, right? And I am going to take New Mexico State. I will forever love you for having those guns in your photo, right? And having a real cowboy with guns on the sideline. I think it's absolutely great for the sport, but they're just not very good. Look, and this is the second time they're playing Hawaii. And if anyone knows, look, I don't know how often people stay up for the Hawaii games. I'm one of these guys that, for the most part, I think I watch every Hawaii game every year.
Unless it's on like a weird Facebook stream and I can't find it.
Yeah. And it's on the perfect time. I'm on the West Coast, so it's like I remember back on the East Coast, I used to watch them in the Nick Rolovich, Timmy Chang days when they were QBs. But on the island, they're always way, way better on the island than they are off the island. Well, guess what? This is the second time they're playing New Mexico State. It's a rich rivalry, guys. I don't know if you guys know that. They won by more than 18 the first game, and now they got to come to the island? I'm sorry. I get it. We just made the case that, hey, Oklahoma State playing Oklahoma 2 weeks in a row. Well, this is a pretty big gap between it. Another thing is New Mexico State, this is the third road game in 4 weeks. So I'm going to lay the 18 points, and with the Rainbow Warriors and Todd Graham and Chevin Cordero, I think they're going to roll against New Mexico State and Doug Martin.
And don't forget, when SEC teams have to travel, it's always rough.
Right. The New Mexico State SEC angle's tough.
Yeah, it's tough for them. Chase, what do you got next for us?
Let's see. Should I deviate from football? We've been doing a lot of football. Okay. So, Colby, if you're not aware, one of my favorite I found that this is a genre of video on YouTube, and it is snooker officials farting so loud that the person playing is so distracted that they miss a shot.
That's amazing. I am not aware. Now I am, and I'm going to be right when this episode's done.
I'm not sure if it's a genre as much as just one immortal video, but the way I handicap snooker is I find the most British sounding name possible, because there's no way that someone who sounds like they've got the Union Jack tattooed to their face can possibly fucking lose at snooker. And this week, Give me Alistair Carter minus 244 on the money line. That's your weekly snooker play. You're welcome.
And this is the week we actually are going to start keeping track of these.
Starting now because
starting now. You're starting now on this. I'm actually going a double angle. I'm going a patriotic angle and a full-on nerd angle. I am actually betting some esports, some League of Legends World Championship going on right now. I'm going the American team, Cloud9, plus 1.5 versus the Korean team, Gen G, in their matchup this weekend. I'm also going to be betting Cloud9 on the money line. For the people that don't follow League of Legends, Cloud9's mid laner, Perks, is just the definition of a clutch machine. He just makes everyone around him so much fucking better. And I think he's going to take his experience on the world stage to this American team and make them rise over the Koreans in this matchup. I love it here. We're going to get a U.S. team in the semifinals for, I think, the first time since I can remember.
Let's do that League of Legos.
Let's fucking go. Colby, what do you got next?
Well, wait, I feel like I just got to throw out one that I have no idea what I'm talking about just to join this mix.
That's all of our stuff. Don't even worry about it.
Well, look, I unfortunately I'm gonna take the Seattle Sounders in the MLS. Look, they're playing the Sporting Kansas City. I don't even know what the hell that means, but the Sounders, they just sound like a good team, right? -0.5 at -105. Well, might as well just take the fucking money line. Look, this is a Seattle Sounders. They're just a proven commodity in the MLS. So, sound off.
If they're an MLS team that I recognize, then I just assume that they're good, and I recognize the Sounders. So
I'm completely talking. Dude, I was trying to find I don't know. So I was trying to go deep into some type. I was looking to see if there was cricket on the fly, but you hot potatoed me, and I just had to just quickly. Yeah. The first thing that came up was Sporting Kansas City against Seattle Sounders, and I'm on the Sounders for several reasons, guys.
And you're like, that sounds obscure. Give it to me.
There you fucking go, Chase. What do you got next for us? Is that a Capri Sun, by the way?
Oh yeah. My old eldest daughter is visiting her grandparents this weekend. It is my goal to drink this entire case of Capri Sun before she realizes they were ever even here. So let's get into that sweet science. That sweet science, Jamal Herring versus Shakur Stevenson. I believe this fight is tonight. I'm going the under 10.5 rounds. Jamal Herring has been around for quite some time. He's a 34-year-old boxer. If you haven't seen Shakur Stevenson fight before, he is a electric young boxer and silver medalist in the 2016 Olympics. Probably got stolen from him because apparently that's corrupt as shit. But Shakur Stevenson typically goes the distance. He's more of a defensive boxer, but I think the young guy takes his opportunity, drops him before the 11th.
Is boxing's corrupt?
Who would have thought?
Shocked
I
me.
had no idea.
Wait, more than the college football ranking system?
Do you remember when two men could just celebrate each other's strength and did not run their mouths about it? God.
I missed 15-round fights, maybe, or just the last person to drop, essentially.
The Parkinson's inducers.
That's how we do it in the garage fights in the Fight Club. We it's just whoever falls first.
It's like Rocky V, and there's a wannabe Don King saying, wait. He goes, "Touch me now, Sue. Touch me now, Sue."
Was it?
I'm gonna go
the Tommy Gunn fight in that one.
I'm going to move over the pond. I'm going to go a soccer bet here. I am taking West Ham versus the Tottenham Hotspurs to end in a draw. I'm feeling a lot of ties this week, if you're catching my drift. I'm feeling this game ending in a draw. I'm getting plus 250 on it. These teams are, I don't know shit about soccer, but I know enough to know that this should be a draw. And any team with Ham in the name, I'm on it. And I think they keep it close enough, and I think they play enough defense to make this game a draw.
That's a ballsy play. Gotta love that.
Soccer doesn't score points. That's just I feel that in my bones.
Yeah, I hear you.
I feel like the draw in soccer is just the safest bet out there. It's like best betting the pass line at the craps table.
I still have never I have a hard time grasping the human mind on the tie. Right? I mean, the NFL still boggles my mind on the fact that if the game runs out of the first overtime or whatever, it's a tie.
Oh, just you wait. I have a bet for that specifically this weekend.
Really? Yeah. Because but to me as a fan, there's nothing worse than not seeing an outcome.
Yeah, that's why college football is the best overtime.
But even that, I can remember in the 90s being like, Army Navy tied at 17. What the fuck did I just watch that game for? Why did I watch that game?
I mean, that's another reason. I grew up in Nebraska, but that's another reason you hear the story of when Tom Osborne went for the win instead of the tie, and you're just like, I respect this team so fucking much.
100%. I mean, like, what's the point of the games, guys? I don't understand soccer ties or, like I said, the NFL. Did they have one already this year, or was it very close to one?
There have been several that have been super close. Like we have been trying to call a tie.
We have been trying to call overtimes and ties. We're trying to find teams that are allergic to winning, that will fight winning tooth and nail to go to overtime and tie.
I actually have the play. It's gonna happen this fucking weekend. Colby, where are you going next though?
Well, I'm gonna go back to where I know what the hell I'm talking about, and that is college football. I am gonna take you to Laramie, where just 2-5 New Mexico. Yeah, I get it. They're 2-5. They're dog shit. But this Wyoming team, although they're much better in Laramie historically, they can't throw the ball. And New Mexico, I get it. They're offensively challenged as well. Terry Wilson, the Kentucky transfer / Oregon transfer, has been dinged up, but they're not going to need to score the ball to cover 20. All right, because New Mexico's run defense, they run that Rocky Long 3-3-5. It can be efficient against Wyoming enough. I'm thinking this one maybe a 17-3 final score. Give me New Mexico plus 20 all day. New Mexico beat them outright last December, guys.
Okay.
I don't think, especially after watching, like I watched that Wyoming game this last weekend. That offense needs a kickstart or something because they do not look great.
Wyoming beat UConn by 2.
Yeah.
Why can't you cover the 20? I get it. New Mexico's not very good, but I just think 20 points in a game where these guys they know each other to play every year. I'm sorry. Give me the Lobos in that horrible offense. Wyoming will win the game. I'm not saying money line play this, although, I mean, I guess it's not a horrible idea because I would not be shocked at all if this was 7-3 in the fourth quarter.
Also a great underplay.
Yeah. That agreed on that angle too. So there you go.
Chase, what are you feeding us next?
I'm going to go with my favorite lounge singer in the tri-state area. I'm talking Dino Babers, the head coach of the Syracuse Orange. I like them to go into Virginia Tech and get the win outright against the Hokies plus 151 on the money line. This is like the third time you made that face, but like I can't believe I let that fucker on my podcast.
I definitely love.
What you got?
I love the points. I love the points because I feel like at the very least, Dino Babers is going to be the one coach I can think of that's going to keep his job or get an extension based on close losses.
This game's awesome. I know that sounds ridiculous, but both coaches, I know Babers might have saved his job for another year with that Clemson performance and the Liberty win, but they're still, if they don't end the season well, if they lose this, I wouldn't be surprised if Syracuse, pull the plug. But on the other side, if Fuente loses this, he's gone. I think he's gone. I must watch TV here. I actually love Chase's play here. I mean, look, gun to my head, I took Virginia Tech, but I'm saying I see a team that might have given up on Justin Fuente, especially from the offensive point of view. So I could totally see this happening, and I love the ballsy play here on the road as a dog. Love it.
And speaking of Chase's, speaking of the entertainment factor that you were mentioning, Colby, we here on the Jimnasium, me specifically, love the angle of coaches coaching for their job. I've been all over Jim Harbaugh. I've been all over Jeff Brom. I've been all over Fuentes. I mean, this is just
it got it per done last week. It got it per done.
I was on those Boilermakers, so thank God. Thank God, because the rest of my picks were trash.
It was that was a rough weekend. My play, I alluded to it earlier. It's a tie in the NFL. I talked about this game earlier. The Dolphins and the Falcons. Name me two of the bottom tier teams in the NFL right now. These two are damn near bottom 4. This game is going to end in a tie. They're going to go into overtime. They're going to hit the over in overtime, and they're going to end this game in a tie.
I hope they have EpiPens for in case any of those teams get close to a W. Like if someone gets close to Jameis's finger W platter, like they might just puff up and go into anaphylactic shock.
And I know we've been going for this every week, it seems like, but damn it, it's 50-1. It's 50-1.
It's bound to hit one of these times, man. It's bound to hit. You just gotta sniff it out, man. You're onto something.
We almost hit
right.
one the first week that we did it, and now it's just like, yeah, it's pretty well cracked at this point.
That's right. Colby, where are we going next?
I'm gonna get to NFL in a minute here, but I got a heavy dose of college football for you guys, man. So I'm gonna take you to good old Fresno, California, where I think the wrong team is favored. And I like
Chase
Fresno.
loves you for this, by the way.
I like the Nevada Wolfpack. Carson Strong. Another thing is Hainer. Is he 100%? We don't know. He threw for like 93 yards last week. Very, very Colorado Buffalo like. And I think Nevada's just a flat out better team. And I think Fresno is onto something. I think they're probably a year away, but this is Nevada's year to win the Mountain West. Huge game. Wrong team's favored. Give me Nevada on the money line. And I guess I side bet that with 3.5 just to cover your ass, but I like it on the money line.
I've been ride or die with those Bulldogs from the sleepy San Joaquin Valley. I love this team. I absolutely love them. I had them. I called that win versus UCLA like 2 weeks in advance from a hot tub in Vegas because there's no more baller way to do that shit. Yeah, man, I gotta. This is it's a full on Civil War at this point, like because he's on this.
I'm all over
big
Nevada.
On yeah,
he's all over Nevada.
Nope. Mm-mm.
This game's awesome, though, isn't it? I mean, how about these Mountain West games between this and the San Diego State Air Force game? Those games are two of the better games on this slate.
Yep, those are probably two of my top like 3 games of the weekend. It's going to be fucking amazing. I have been on Nevada since week 1. I actually had them as my pick to win the Mountain West. Sprinkle a little bit on Air Force too, but I love this game. So
I'm going to go ahead and say this too: the Mountain West and the Sun Belt are better than the AAC this year.
Yeah, I would argue as a whole, definitely.
Okay, I guess I'm not saying I'm going to drink that. All right.
Well, the only like Cincinnati, I think, is really fucking good, and I think SMU is really fucking good too. But I don't think the rest of the AAC is that great. Like Memphis, UFC, your usual powers, those are downtrodden.
Yeah, the depth of the Mountain West, with the exception of like UNLV and New Mexico, and even they're not like
UNLV is competitive too.
That's what I'm saying. They're almost turning a corner. I keep trying to predict the week that they're going to get that money line win. I thought I had it yesterday, but didn't. But both those conferences are really showing up. So yeah, give me the Wolfpack though. I'm not on Fresno. I'm on Nevada. I think they get it done. Jay Norvell.
Okay, well, while Chase is having his little technical issues right now, I'm going to go next to my pick. I'm going to go back to college football. I'm going to go back to an old favorite. Old Faithful. I'm taking Alabama minus 16.5 in the first half of that Tennessee game. Tennessee's coming off of this emotional, huge loss. They were throwing garbage on the field. I'm all for it.
Me
garbage
too.
Fans are hilarious. It's amazing. But Alabama is turning it on, and I think Alabama, especially after a loss, is something to be fucking feared. They're playing for some shit this week, the rest of the season. Cause like, as much as we want to think that Alabama is not in the playoffs, if they went out, they're easily in, and they're going to be steamrolling opponents to do it. So give me Alabama, especially in this first half, minus 16.5. I'm also on Alabama minus 7.5 in the first quarter.
I even like the minus 25 too.
I like that. I'm playing it 3 ways. I'm playing it all 3.
Have you followed this line? This line has been bananas. It was like at 28, 29, then it dropped down to 23. Settling now at 25. I still think the Tide, I mean, they owned Tennessee. I don't think I get it. Heupel's got Tennessee a little bit ahead of schedule from what I saw them being, but I'm laying the 25, and I like your play in the first half as well.
They weren't supposed to be pelting with golf balls and mustard bottles until year 3.
What's going on though? I mean, come on, isn't that the beauty of sport? I can remember Duke Maryland games back when they were in the ACC in basketball, where like the Maryland fans were throwing batteries at the play. That
wasn't it just like 2018 or 2017 that the K-State Kansas game had a huge fucking brawl?
Yeah, isn't that great?
That was awesome.
See,
I
I've grown to actually really like Kiffin. I think it's because Kiffin is really good at Twitter. But I'm gonna be honest, him being pelted with trash and like a golf ball, like whoever hit him with that golf ball, like they should get like a used Ford Ranger for that shot.
Yeah,
like,
they should
amazing.
They should get some free steaks wherever the fuck they're in Knoxville. Whatever steakhouse in Knoxville should be hooking them up with that. This makes the sport better. So the next time you play, I never understand. Like I feel like in 2021 that every time you see this, it's like, oh, this is so terrible for the sport. I'm like, who says that? I've never once been at a bar where someone said, man, this is despicable. No, this is great.
It's also just one thing that like any publicity is publicity, not publicity, is good publicity. And like it gets more eyes on college football. We got a prediction in the chat, by the way. Aaron J calling out Alabama will lose one more game and miss the playoffs. I mean,
think there's a good chance.
There's a good. I mean, that one game could be the SEC championship game, but they could lose another one before that. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, the Auburn game could be. It's at Auburn, I believe, this year, right?
Yeah, and there's some weird juju with that too.
Yeah, you never know with that rivalry.
Speaking of like fan groups, like fan bases, like opening up their hearts and letting that hate out, I kind of wish that Arkansas had done that with the referees. After the Auburn game because we got
yes.
I'm still mad about that. I'm still mad about that game.
We're switching up the order. Chase, you're next. What's up?
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take it to the NFL. I'm looking at my New Orleans Saints going to play against the Seattle Seahawks, who've got Geno at the helm, and I'm fading the Saints here. I'm taking the Seahawks +4, and I'm taking the over 42.5 in this game.
Question for you as a Saints fan: was the bye week a good Jameis week or a bad Jameis week?
I can't remember if we're off schedule or not. Like
so. That is what my betting on this game is entirely dependent on. Is if this is a good Jameis week or a bad Jameis week.
It's more of just like a classic New Orleans going to Seattle thing. Like it's just crazy things happen. There are beast quakes. There are all sorts of there are comebacks. There's all sorts of stuff. There's Marshawn Lynch jumping backwards into an end zone yelling "Hold my dick!" Like we just get. I don't know what it is about going there. Maybe we're scared of birds because they're living dinosaurs and they got a big one fucking circling around. But yeah, I don't think we get it done. And actually, we're kind of dinged up on defense right now, and I think there's a good amount of points. Geno didn't look too bad against the Steelers last week.
No, he did not. I
never thought we'd say that.
I kind of like it. I just need to know if it's a good Jameis week or a bad Jameis week. That's what this entirely depends on for me.
Okay, hold on. They won on their way out. That was a good Jameis week. So
because they played the Washington football team before their bye, right?
Right. And so so we should be back on a good Jameis week.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it restarts, but if
I don't know if it restarts. Okay, I'll need to crunch some numbers here in the garage. Colby, what do you got next for us?
I'm gonna let's have some fun. Let's just have some fun here. Lay 38.5 points. And take the Oklahoma Sooners to wax Kansas because look, and I'm a Kansas guy. I have a ticket in the other room right now for Kansas over 1 win. That's going to be a push because that my chance was the Duke game where the Texas Tech didn't happen. So it's going to be a push. Kansas definitely not where I thought they would be. Not that I thought they'd be in contention for the Big 12 or anything, but I'm going to lay the 38.5. And take the Sooners. You know, ever since the quarterback change, I think this is they've all of a sudden stumbled upon, you know, what perhaps they were missing, and they won 62-9 last year. So that was 53 points if my math is correct. I'm going to lay 38.5. I mean, I actually got it at 38 earlier in the week, but even right now, I feel fairly confident. Don't overthink it. Just take the bet here. It's gonna hit. Kansas can't move the ball.
I'm actually throwing Oklahoma into what I'm kind of making like a weekly segment over on Better Than Vegas is my big spread parlay. Oklahoma's going to be in that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a few. You and my brother NC Nick, he's on my show as well, and he went heavy on a few big big favorites this week. I think UAB was one. I don't know if they're playing Rice. So, I like that. And I'm telling you, lay the 38.5 because it's just, I get it. It sounds like, oh, that hook. No, I think they want you to take Kansas plus the 38.5. The play is Oklahoma minus the 38.5.
Speaking of UAB, congratulations on the best trophy in college football coming back with their reuniting with Memphis.
Yeah, definitely. That's I'm glad to see that one. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the change, a lot of the turnover.
I'm not either. But that's the one thing for me.
Yeah, I agree. That and Texas, and like Texas playing Arkansas every year, sign me up for. Texas playing Texas A&M every year, sign me up for. So,
yep.
For my next one, I'm going to the NFL. This is my make or break right here. I am backing my boy, the XFL legend Taylor Heineke, one more time, not to win, but to cover the +8 versus the Packers. I think this Packers defense is not good, and I have faith. I just think he's got the Fitzpatrick gene in him. He could throw out these games every once in a while where he just balls out of control, and I think he plays up to the level of competition. This is a big game for him, and I think he balls out here, and I think the Washington football team covers the +8. Even with all the bullshit going on in DC right now, I think he still gets that cover.
I took it as well. I don't love it, but I did take the Redskins plus the points there.
Mm-hmm. I need to back my XFL boys, and Chargers aren't playing this week. Chase, where are we going next?
Oof. I feel like I'm on the spot here. Let's see. What do we got? Okay. I'm not sure if this game is kicked off yet, but let's go Washington, Arizona. Give me Arizona plus 17.5.
That's why you better be watching live, folks. That's why you better be watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hot potato there, right? I mean, now they're
might
down.
As well give me the plus 17. I got plus money for plus 17 also, plus 103. So let's hit that also. Let's get that.
Wow. Okay.
That's bold. That's bold. I like it. Colby, where are we going?
I will take you. I'll give you a little NFL play that I like. I'm going to take the Titans plus 4.5 against the Chiefs in Nashville. I just think if the Chiefs win, it'll be by a field goal or even 4 if you get it. But I think the Titans can win this on the money line too. I think this Chiefs team is not the same Chiefs team from last year or the year before. Give me the Titans in Nashville on the money line.
All right,
Sunday morning.
I proclaim this from the mountaintops. Bet against the Chiefs in the first half money line every week. Pound it. Just absolutely pound it. Mm-hmm. They have not led going into the half, and I don't know how long.
Since Len Dawson.
Since they fucking ran Hank Stram's 42 belly counter or whatever it was in the NFL film.
This is also a game where I have my first touchdown addiction, where I'm just addicted to long odd tight ends basically. So I'm actually also on first to score the first touchdown in this game. My play though, also a reason you should be watching live. I'm going over to Korea for some Korean baseball. I am parlaying my two favorite teams once
again.
True
DGen shit. I'm sorry, go.
Parlaying my two favorite teams, the NC Dinos, their second game. They're playing 2. I'm playing the NC Dinos money line second game and the Doosan Bears money line. Parlay that shit. It's not great because the Dinos are so heavily favored, but you get a decent odds, and both these teams are going to be fun to root for. I am all over both these teams, the Doosan Bears and the NC Dinos.
It's not being a degen if you're just truly really into dinosaurs.
That's fair. I'm just a big Jurassic Park fan.
Well, what platform can you view that on? I'm curious. Is that on ESPN Plus or something? I
remember ESPN was playing those games last year. And there was nothing else on.
When COVID hit, Korea's economy it was just boosting.
I can't. Maybe you have to get ESPN Plus for it. I don't know. There's got to be some streaming platforms for it.
It's actually an Easter egg on the BTS website is what it is.
I'm upset that they made it harder to watch X League games. By the way, they fucking the package, because you have to have a whole Japanese signature thing that it's super hard to get access to here in the States. So my Japanese pro football is very hard to watch. And the worst part is you can't bet on it. I can't find any betting lines for it.
Wasn't that the worst of the spring league, was that you couldn't bet on it?
That was and is the worst thing of the spring league and fan controlled football is that you can't bet on it.
I mean, are they not in 2021? What the fuck?
Well, the same people
that thing was Ryan Mallett though.
The same people that own the spring league, their the partnership with Fox for the USFL. I think. I mean, you fucking should be able to bet on the USFL. That's disgusting,
dude. I can tell you, if not, I don't. I mean, I guess I'll watch, but I'm not going to be nearly.
That was one of the biggest pushes for the fucking XFL
and the AAF.
How much they embrace, how much both those leagues embrace gambling. Yeah,
it doesn't make any sense, man. And but I am interested in this Korean baseball play. So by the way, talk to me afterwards, and we'll see. I might have a way where you can view some Korean baseball.
Fucking yeah.
But look, if you want to do baseball, I'll hop in there. I think the Dodgers are going to tie that series up at 3 this Saturday. So
I'm just very annoyed that my Dodgers pick of the Dodgers winning the series 4-2 as crumbled. That crumbled me.
Yeah. I mean, that's tough. I mean, look, I think you lay the run and a half if you're going to bet it because the other odds are so terrible. So you lay the run and a half. I think they get it done to extend that to a 7th game. I don't even know if that was my turn, so my apologies.
No, it's all good. We'll go to Chase. What do you got next?
Let's see. I got Nitro Bet and reloading up here. Okay. How about a bet that we're all just gonna have a great weekend? So on the money line, all 3 of us, great weekends, guys.
I can bet that.
There we go. Yeah, there we go.
That's an easy one. I have an actual disgusting one because it's my least favorite sport, especially in the regular season. I have a money line NBA parlay. I am on the Jazz, the Nets, the Warriors, the Bucks, and the Knicks to all win outright. Once again, that's the Jazz, the Nets, the Warriors, the Bucks, and the Knicks. That's a parlay.
Went out on a limb with some opinions there, didn't you?
On the 25th, it's yeah. I mean, I don't care about the NBA. It's plus 1,700. I'll give me that.
Okay.
What I wanted to find, and it's probably too early to find. You have to do this the day of. Is like I do like the first scorer props. Those are just fun.
Yeah. No, those are a ton of fun. I do those, and I mean, I love that in NFL. I feel like every Monday Night Football or Thursday night, I'm playing that. But guys, hold on. Do we have any big outright dogs? Because I was on App. I know App State wasn't too big of a dog on Wednesday, but last week I was on LSU against Florida. I'm trying to find some value for. I have a few more locks, by the way, that I can give out here, but I was looking for some heavy dog action that you could see. We saw Bowling Green do it with Minnesota, 31 points. We saw ULM do it last week with Liberty, 32 points. I think that was. Obviously, you don't get those type of lines in NFL really. So I was just curious. You got any crazy heavy line action that you could totally see? I was thinking, what if Indiana was to stay with Ohio State? I know that's 21 points. Indiana's looked like dog shit this year, but they played them tough last year. Does Tom Allen maybe have a formula to and that was with Justin Fields. Obviously, Stroud's not the same as Justin Fields. Maybe do we try to sprinkle some there? What about Florida International, the old airport down there in Miami, with getting 15? Do we sprinkle on the money line there?
I don't hate FIU.
Plus 550 for FIU.
I gotta say this quietly, otherwise my wife will hear me and she'll be very angry. I kind of like the plus 211 USC at Notre Dame.
I do too, actually. I do too. Both
Don't
teams had a bye
that.
week. I think USC struggles to get up for regular games. This is one that they nationally televised. I think they might get up for this one. I like it. I like that angle.
If I were ever going to call an epic birding, this is the most epic birding of them all. Plus 1,074 against Penn State. Could he Burt the hell out of Penn State? Who's having quarterback
no
troubles?
Sean Clifford, right?
Yeah, I mean, what is that 100%?
I think he's out. It's not 100%, but I think he's out.
I was going to say, what if Pat Fitzgerald knocks off Michigan?
That's another one. Yeah.
Man, on a normal year, I would say yes, but this Northwestern team is different.
It's really bad. I mean, I saw them live in Lincoln, man, and they were bad.
But
and
usually that game is like a 1 to 3 point game, even if they're having a bad year.
Yeah, I mean, the last time they played, Michigan won by 3. So
I'm just saying, Burt will Burt some shit up. Plus 1,074. Yeah, I'll take that shot.
Any chance Navy? Navy's a 28-point dog, guys. I know Cincinnati's. It's in Annapolis though against Cincinnati. Any chance? Because the triple option is going to shorten the game. I know Navy's 1-5, but I mean, crazier things have happened, right? What if this is a 17-14 game in the fourth?
They will have to take the opening kickoff and then hold possession until the last second of the fourth quarter to kick a field goal.
I'll tell you one line that smells absolutely. And by the way, feel free to hop in with your other plays. I'm just saying, I don't want to hijack your show here, but Wisconsin is. Did all you guys see that line and say, "What? Why is Wisconsin 3.5-point favorites in West Lafayette after what Purdue's done this year, the first time ranked?" I don't get it. It smells to me, so that's why I am taking Wisconsin.
I know. I'm leaning into that weird line too. I'm also taking Wisconsin. Their defense is still pretty good, and I was the same mind where I'm just like, that line looks fishy, so I'm buying in. I'm just going all in on Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, the line makes zero sense to me. Honestly, I don't understand how they came up with that line. So something is standing out there. I actually kind of feel like that with the UCLA line a little bit too. I'm going to take UCLA and Wisconsin as favorites, despite.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, despite the rankings essentially, and I don't know. I got some more plays, but I'll let you guys.
We're coming up on the time right now where it's time for our final picks. So if you got any big ones, lay them out. We'll start with Chase. What is your final play for the weekend?
I've been going back and forth with this one pretty much all night of do I go ahead and just lay this card on the table or not? But fucking country roads take me home to the place where I was born, West Virginia, by damn, plus 167 versus TCU. West Virginia actually has a defense. TCU does not. That's going to be the difference in the game.
Is Max Duggan playing? Because I know that was a big thing for TCU. I thought he was.
The other reason I was hesitant to pull this out is because I don't really know a whole lot about either of those teams. So I'm just going to say, sure.
I mean, TCU's defense is pretty fucking bad, so I don't hate it.
Yeah, they are.
It's like Colby was saying. To me, that just kind of comes down to what's the status on Max Duggan?
Yeah, I think that's
the hacksaw Max Duggan.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He just had successful surgery too, man.
Yep, I heard about that.
Legend. Yeah, I mean, look, I could totally see West Virginia winning that game. They need to, because I can tell you Neil Brown's seat might be getting a little hot.
I think it's getting warm at the very least. What is this? Is this year 2 or 3 for him?
I think it's 3. It's 3, I think, for him. So, and I actually had them as a team that was one of my sleepers in college football this year, and I have not been impressed. But
they got up for a great game against Virginia Tech. They looked really good against Virginia Tech.
They should have beat Oklahoma.
They took Oklahoma all the way down.
They were the better team against Oklahoma.
Yep.
They just squandered that opportunity. They were the better team.
Yep, I'm right there with you on that one. Colby, what is your last play for the evening?
Look, guys, I grew up a Colorado Buffalo fan, and unfortunately, I'm going to fade them. Cal laying 8, and another thing is the money's coming in on the Buffs. I don't know why. I understand they beat Arizona 34-0, but even that was kind of misleading from an offensive standpoint. The real problem with Colorado has been their offense. Their defense has been good all year. Even in the blowout losses, it's because their defense was on the field for 58 minutes of the game. They're not going to go to Berkeley. They're just not there. Like that 34-0 Arizona win in Boulder last week, they had a block punt. They had a pick 6. It was misleading from an offensive standpoint. I know Cal doesn't blow out anybody, but I think this week, lay the points. Cal's much better than their 1-5 record. I cleaned up on them last week against Oregon. I cleaned up against them against TCU. So I think they're actually a decent football team. And if Justin Wilcox gets fired, which I'm hearing rumblings he might.
Oh, no. I hate that. If
he does, Wazoo should snatch him up, or some depending on how the trickle down effect. I think he's a very good coach, and I think Cal will roll on Saturday against my Buffs.
I think what Cal does a very good job of, even at 1-5, is they're really good at dragging teams down to their level and just playing like scrappy bad football. And I'm with you there. I think Cal's defense is going to be the best thing on this field. And both the teams have really good defenses, really bad offenses, but I think Cal's offense is way better than Colorado's.
Wait. I mean, this might be a 14-3 final score, but I don't think Colorado's going to have any offensive success.
My last play for the night, I'm lying. I kind of have two because I forgot to shout out my boys. The Nippon Ham Fighters over in Japan. I got them on the money line versus the Chiba Lot Marines. You get that plus 150. That's always nice. Make sure you're watching live because that's happening. It's happening really early in the morning tomorrow for us here in the United States. Nippon Ham Fighters, and then my biggest long shot play of the day. Kansas City, they have some receivers banged up. I think Travis Kelce is going to be getting a lot of defense put on him. I'm going to go a long shot here. I'm actually going to go Byron Pringle to score the first touchdown. This is mainly a shout out to my buddy who's a K-State grad and a huge K-State fan. Big Byron Pringle guy. I'm actually all over him to score the first touchdown of this game. He's at 75-1.
Best Pringles flavor.
I want pizza. I'm a big pizza Pringle guy.
I keep it pretty old school. I go with a one flavor kind of chip, like either just like a straight up like
original
or straight up like ranch.
Okay, I think you're gonna say original.
I'll eat the orig.
I'll
eat
too.
The orig. I don't care.
But they're kind of like
salty. I'm not fucked up about it.
They're kind of a last ditch. I'm gonna go barbecue.
Barbecue's solid for Pringles too. I think Pringles are an underrated barbecue chip too.
Yeah.
I thought that the Titans are plus 155 on the first half money line, and they are plus 130 on the first quarter money line.
That's the Pringles play of the week right there.
There we fucking go. Pringles first touchdown and the Titans money line on the first half. Easy. That'll do it for this episode of the Jimnasium Picks Porch. My man, Colby Dant, Pick Dundee. Thank you for joining us. Fucking shout out your shit, bro.
Yeah, check out thanks for having me. First off, guys, always a pleasure to kick it with you guys. And check out the college football experience and the college basketball experience. I host both. And also check out the Sports Gambling Podcast because that's a thing that I've been doing for a long time. So between all three of those, that is us. Get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. You get all of our picks, and we're going to have these rascals on. So you're going to want to stay tuned to listen to what they're going to say when we have them on for, I don't know if it's a Nebraska show. I've tried to get XFL Jim on before.
Dude, schedules are fucking nuts.
He stood me up, right? It was raining. Jazz music was playing. I was like, what the fuck, man? What's happening? I haven't gotten over it yet, so I haven't reached back out. But Chase has been on talking Razorback football, so we're going to have him back, both these guys. So check out the Sports Gambling Podcast and the college football experience. So thanks for having me, guys.
And Chase, where can the people find you?
You can always find me being abrasive on Twitter at of Oaklawn. That is OF Oaklawn. I'm typically with this big galoot on the top left, XFL Jim. We've got our Saturday morning college football show, Campus Profits. We're on our Sunday morning DFS show, the
Fantasy Foreplay, baby.
And then it don't get no realer than the Jimnasium, where we hot tub it. We run obstacle courses. We eat chocolate covered espresso beans with other substances, and it's a ton of fun. Plus Fridays you can catch me on Always Be Racing with Blackjack Fletcher and ex-WWE diva Summer Rae, aka Danielle Wanye. And then I'm just around. If you just like yell like, hey, Lupine Fiasco, I'll probably just be like, what? Or like I'll send like a pigeon. I'll like start flipping pigeons at you.
You could take. Let me tell you about Chase. You could take a note dedicated to Chase. Throw it in a Coca-Cola bottle. Throw that thing in the good old ocean because look, we're fucked anyway. The ocean's fucked. Might as well just throw it out there, and I'm pretty sure he'll write you back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He will.
Yeah. I do not leave the house and see people very often. I'm eager to talk to people.
Y'all know where to find me. XFL Jim on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm everywhere. I tweet way too fucking much. Jimnasium every Sunday night. Make sure you're listening. We're on all the fucking podcast platforms as well. And check out my YouTube. I actually have a taste testing, a little taste review of the Bud Light Seltzer Fall Flannel Pack. The flavors, once again, are apple crisp, maple pear, pumpkin spice, and toasted marshmallow. So be interested in that one. I review that pack with Blackjack Fletcher. That'll be out this next week. It's gonna be fucking delicious. Thank you all for listening. Let's go win some fucking bets this weekend, boys.